My name is Nitara, and I'm 20.
My name is Romy, and I'm 20 years old.
My name is Destiny Kelly, and I'm 19 years old. I would describe my body as like a temple.
Unique.
Complicated.
So I think I first realised that I was plus size probably when I was about 7 or 8. So I do a lot of acting, and like when I was younger, most of the things that I used to get like auditions for or callbacks for were kind of like West End musicals, right? So I turn up, and one of the things I significantly remember is auditioning for like Sound of Music, and obviously you have the thing where everyone lines up, where all the kids line up, and I just remember feeling like slightly different, or like when I dance, like feeling slightly different, and like just my agent kind of saying to me, like, because for musicals it's a very kind of like strict template of like a body type, and I didn't have that.
I think it was in like early third, fourth grade because so basically like the rest of my life before that I was like very small, like small as in why isn't she eating type thing. And I think it was like actually like after my sister passed, like and my mom getting sick, we had to like eat out more because if my mom didn't cook, then we had to like order food. So like it was like 1 or 2 months where my mom was just like not cooking at all, and I think that's when we just started like eating out more, like ordering food, eating whatever that's in the house and it wasn't home cooked. And I realized like when I came back, and this was like later getting into middle school, because like I said it was like third, fourth grade. When it started getting to fifth grade, sixth grade, that's when people were like I was starting to get treated different, like just a little different. And then when I came back to school, people wouldn't even look my way. Like not even not look my way, but like it was different. I could tell that it wasn't as like, oh da da da, here's Destiny. It was more like she's funny.
I think there were times where I knew that I was a bit bigger than my friends. I was raised in a very predominantly white area, and so most of my friends were very thin. But it was never anything that necessarily impeded me. I think that for a lot of other plus size women that I've talked to, you kind of realize that you're plus sized when being plus sized becomes a limitation. And so for me, I think that limitation came, I think around the time I was like 13, 14, we started having middle school dances, and my friends were able to just go out to stores near us and find dresses. But for me, I ordered a dress online that I absolutely fell in love with. It was way too small for me. And then this started like this whole like 2 month process of trying to order different dresses and see if they would ever fit me right. And my friends didn't have to deal with that. And I think that was the first time I realized, not that I was necessarily plus size, but that being plus size would be a limitation for me going forward.
The relationship I have with my body varies in place. So like when I'm in London, I find it a bit more of an unhealthy relationship, and certainly that translates with like my relationship with food and like exercise and stuff. And then when I'm here, I feel more comfortable. I don't know whether I find this to be, and some people find that hard to believe, right? Because some people find that here is not a very like body positive community, whereas like compared to London, for me, like here has been much better.
I feel like my relationship with my body, like when coming to Stanford, has definitely been worse because Stanford is very fat phobic. Like even if they're not vocally like saying something to someone plus size, they're definitely like the way they act, the culture at Stanford. Like everybody, I literally just talked to somebody the other day, and they were like, "I'm so sick of being fat," or like, and they're not fat at all. And it's like, yeah, you don't think it's affecting people, but it's like your mindset. You're talking about yourself. You're saying, "Oh yeah, da da da. You don't want to be this fat. I could never like. It's ugly." Imagine saying that to somebody that's plus size. And then another thing is like just dating culture here. They feel like if they not a size 2T, if they are not a dang toddler size, they're not gonna date them. And it's like they're already colorist, and they already have a problem with somebody not being light skinned or mixed, you know, it's already 10 times worse, you know, for somebody that's plus size. This is a mindset you need to change. You're grown now. Like, this isn't high school. You know, you could kind of give an excuse to somebody that's in high school because, like, some of them don't know any better because, you know, that's how they've been brought up. But you're in an environment where you have people all over the world. And if you feel like you could go back and forth against something political, you can definitely try to understand where I'm coming from as a plus size woman at Stanford University.
Coming to Stanford, I think one of the first things me and my mother noticed when we got here was the presence of thin people. And not just like, I think people who have like healthy relationships with their bodies or with food, but people who legitimately just do not eat and like exercise heavily. And I think that was very jarring for me. And so I think it's hard. I think that we can view our bodies internally and do a lot of work internally to make sure that we're having a healthy relationship with food and with size and so on and so forth. But I think that can only go so far when you have so much external pressure to conform to a certain size. I think that being fat here is difficult. I don't think that Stanford makes it easy to be a fat person, let alone a fat woman. And I think that that's just put to the test every single time I'm, going anywhere where it's just such a struggle to find other fat people and to find this like sense of acceptance. I always feel like I should be going to the gym or I should be eating less. Even something as simple as having a dining plan that doesn't allow you to eat 3 meals a day at a dining hall, it's just ridiculous to me. In contrast, at University of Georgia, which is like one of the biggest public schools in my state, you come in as a freshman and you're required to have an unlimited dining plan. I just knew coming here that I was like, this is not a place that's going to encourage me having a better relationship with my body and with food. This is something that I'm going to have to do in spite of Stanford.
My first few weeks here, I really struggled because I would literally wake up, in London I wouldn't eat 3 meals a day, I'd eat 1 or 2 meals a day, right, because I was trying to lose weight. And then I came here and obviously you have meal times here and you want to eat with your friends, so I would want to eat 3 times a day and snack or whatever. And so because I was doing that, I was so scared of putting on weight, I'd literally wake up every morning and look in the mirror, I'd call my mom and be FaceTime her and be does it look like I put on weight, And after a while my friends here kind of really encouraged me to just eat normally and eat as a social thing, and then my relationship with food became healthier.
Feeling at home in my body is when I just ordered a bunch of clothes and all of them come and I can fit every single thing, and I'm I look good. That's me at home in my body. Because I get so disappointed, I get so discouraged, and then I'm oh, I need to lose weight as soon as I order something that's supposed to be my size and nothing fits right. It looks ugly. And it's not even my fault. It's the people who made this fault.
I think, but for me, since I spent so much time trying to be a certain size, I would have this really unhealthy practice of buying clothes that I could not fit into, and then telling myself, okay, once I get to the end of this diet, once I get to the end of this 21-day plan, this 3-month plan, I'll really be able to fit into this and feel good about myself. And I think one of the best things for me that came out of the pandemic was this idea of not prolonging my happiness, this idea of not saying that I have to work to be happy or that I have to do something to deserve to be happy.
I love fashion. Fashion is a very big thing for me, and so actually that intersection between my body image and fashion has been a really interesting one to try and navigate. Obviously, because sometimes shopping would not be that pleasant an experience, so particularly in London when I was at my biggest, it was really unpleasant.
One of the things that my mom did for me before I came to Stanford was, we went to this plus size store near me for people my age, and she was buy anything that you want. I went to the store and I bought the things that I wanted, and so being at Stanford, I've been able to take a lot more pride in my appearance because I'm finally wearing clothes that fit me and I feel good, and that's what makes me feel empowered, is being able to just wear clothes that all my friends wear and not feel like I'm left out because they're fitting into something that I cannot. And I think that that's really just a mark on the fashion industry for becoming steadily more and more inclusive. The clothes that make me feel at home in my body, it's definitely taken me a long time to figure out kind of what fashion I like.
I decorate my body. I don't know if that makes sense, you kind of just adorn it with stuff. Like it's fun.
The biggest thing right now is like braless is a new thing right now. I could never in a million years go braless, because people would think I'm a hooker. So that's like one thing that I hope that we're like working on steadily. But for right now, I realize that for a long time I thought I wore oversized clothes because I didn't like my body. But now that I have a much healthier relationship, I still do kind of like the oversized look. So like what I'm wearing right now, I love overalls, I love big t-shirts, I love shorts. Don't really like dressing up too much, but I do, if I do, I kind of like the like casual, kind of like casual chic thing going on.
Cute clothes, like very cute, very revealing now. Um, I feel like if I throw something on that they said only a skinny person could wear, and I do it 10 times better, that's how I feel like, yeah, I got this.
I don't think I've ever felt like that comfortable in my body. I say the most comfortable I felt was actually probably recently, like maybe last year. But that was because I lost like a lot of weight. Like I lost maybe like 20 kilograms. I don't know what that is in like American metrics. Everyone's always asking me, I don't know. But yeah, I think I felt better after I'd lost weight, particularly because actually I knew that I'd done it kind of in a healthy way, like more healthy than I would have expected. But I think it just varies. Like there are some days where I feel really happy, and then there are other days when I don't. Like it's like the weather.
The moment I really love my body was when I'm in the gym. When I first started going to the gym, and this was like post me doing track, so I was still like strong. I feel like everybody when they look at plus size people like in the gym, they just like what are they doing? Like, do they know how to work out? And I went to the gym and I was eating the girls up.
This morning, actually, I woke up. I haven't done laundry in a few days, so I didn't really have much to wear. But I had my overalls and I had this sweatshirt, and this wasn't necessarily an outfit combo that I've put on before, but I put it on. And in my dorm in Meyer, we have these full body mirrors on our doors, and I put on my bandana and I put on my glasses and my earrings. It's kind of like my morning routine. And I was standing in the mirror, and today I really liked what I saw. And I can't always say that for every day, but I can say that for today, and that was a really nice feeling. There's a lot of power, or at least for me personally, I've recognized a lot of power in just calling myself fat, because I feel like while plus size is something that's trying to necessarily be politically correct, and people may disagree with me on that, I feel like for fat, it's about claiming something. It's not about how I view myself, but how society views me, what society has stripped me of. And this label, this moniker, being able to take it back and own it as something that I'm proud of, I think for me has been a pretty powerful experience.